Hey everyone, I'm Kotana, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the most recent race I ran, which was a 10K race, and talk to you a little bit about my running race plans for the rest of the year. All right, so the most recent race that I ran was a couple of weeks ago, in about middle of May. It was a 10K race, so it was my first time ever doing that short of a distance. Believe it or not, the first competitive race that I've ever ran was actually a half marathon. And then did a bunch of other halves and some fulls after that. But this year, since I told myself I wasn't gonna do a full marathon because I did 2 of them last year, and as many of you may know, it's like 4+ months of training per marathon that you do, kind of around there. And so last year, since I did 2 full marathons, I spent 8 out of 12 months of the year in marathon training mode. So told myself I wasn't going to do any fulls in the year of 2026. Just give my body time to, recover and stuff like that. And then I will be doing a full next year. But so this year I kind of wanted to focus more on halves and maybe try out some shorter distances as well to work on speed. So I signed up for a 10K race, which was middle of May. And it was a Hawaiian luau theme, which was very cool. It was my first time doing a themed race. And it was kind of like a training run for a half marathon I have, which is actually coming up this coming weekend. But it was more so, a training run to get ready for that. Seeing where I'm at, like speed work wise, and just seeing how fast I can go for that distance. So since it was my first time doing a 10K race, obviously it was low pressure because I hadn't done that distance before. So as one of my clients at work says, she says, yeah, if you haven't done that distance before, then regardless of what time you get, it's going to be a PR. So I didn't have many nerves going into the race, especially because I'm used to much longer distances. I'm going to talk to you little guys about how the race went. All right, so unfortunately, on the morning of the race, it was actually cold and pretty rainy, which is kind of unfortunate because the whole week leading up to the race, it had been really nice weather. So I was kind of preparing myself in my mind for like a sunny, warm weather race, but ended up being cold and rainy. That's okay. And it was actually my first time doing such a small community race. So a lot of the races I do, I try to seek out like the races with the biggest amount of participants, the biggest budget, because that's going to attract the most competitive runners. So a lot of races I do for halves and fulls have like thousands of participants. But this race, it's actually my first time doing a small local race. Only had about like 50 participants in it. There was a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon for this option. And for the race, since it was pretty low budget, they didn't have the money to like close any roads and stuff. So unfortunately, it was a very short out and back course. So for the 10K race, as you guys know, 6.2 miles. So basically, unfortunately, we had to do an out and back a bunch of different times. So we basically would just run back and forth on this one straight line that was just 0.78 miles. So I basically went back and forth 8 times. So back and forth 4 times, doing that, running across that line 8 times, which that was my first time ever doing a race that had an out and back course. Every races I've done up to that point was just a point to point course. So that was definitely very different. I will say, I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, doing an out and back course, I feel like it's harder mentally during the race because when you make a turnaround to go back towards the finish line, it almost like your brain is being tricked because your brain thinks like, oh, I'm heading back towards the finish line. I'm almost done with the race. But then to have to reach the finish line and not finish the race, you have to turn around and go back to the out and back is kind of demoralizing. So if any of you have done a race that's an out and back, let me know how you feel about out and back races. I would love to know. And if you feel like it's a little bit easier because the course is familiar, because doing that out and back, or if you don't like it, definitely let me know in the comments down below. In the race, I went back and forth 4 different times. One thing I will say that I did like about it though is because you know, for most races that are point to point, I only see my family who are coming to watch me. I only see them at the finish line. But this race, I was able to see them like 4 different times throughout the race, each time I reached the finish line, which was really cool. So yeah. In the race, going into the race, my strategy, I didn't really have too much of a strategy. So for the race, basically for half marathons, my PR pace is about 7:24 per mile. And so going into the race, I didn't have many expectations of what pace per mile I would get. I was honestly thinking a little bit conservative, like maybe I would do like 7:10 pace. I was like kind of unsure of what strategy to use for the race. So I was like, should I just go out and start at 7:10 pace and like try to see if I can hold it for all 6.2 miles? Or should I do the first couple, like 2 miles at my half marathon pace, which is that 7:24, and then slowly pick it up? I wasn't really sure, but since it was a small local race, there weren't too many super competitive runners that came out. Just me and this one guy, we basically started together at the start line. And then as soon as the race started, we just took off and were flying. I felt super, super fast with my carbon plated shoes. It was my second race wearing those. And he started going out. Him and I went out together pretty much with me about maybe like 10 yards or 10 feet to 10 yards behind him. And I looked at my watch about like 30 seconds into the race, and it said 5:55 mile pace. And so I was like, okay, I need to slow down. So I ended up, even though it felt pretty good, I knew I needed to slow down. I wouldn't be able to hold that pace. So I ended up slowing down. And my first mile was like 6:30. And I was like, okay, that's really good. I'm not gassed. Like, it feels pretty good. I could definitely hold that pace, around that pace for longer. So overall, I did not negative split in the race, but that's okay. I was kind of just since it's only 6.2 miles, it was kind of being more ambitious in this race, going out faster, seeing if I can hold that pace. So I ended up doing an average pace of like 6:46 per mile, kind of alternating each mile between like 6:30, 6:40 pace and like 6:50 pace. So yeah, it ended up averaging about 6:45 per mile. I ended up finishing with a time of 41 minutes and 53 seconds, which was amazing. Going into the race, I was like, as long as I get like sub 45, I'll be happy with that. So to get 41:53 was awesome. And for the total 10K participants, myself included, I ended up coming in at first place overall, which was amazing. I've gotten first place in my age group before, but I've never been close to being first overall. So to get that, even though it was more of a local race, a lot less participants, only like 50 people, that's still a good amount of runners. So to come in first overall was awesome. And for getting first overall, they actually sent me, US Road Running sent me a medal in the mail, in addition to my one for participating that said first place overall. I don't know if you guys can see it. But yeah, there's a little bit of a glare here. Sorry about that. But yeah, first place overall, which was super cool. Very happy with the race. I did even better than I thought I would. I felt really fast, which is great because I wanted to talk to you guys about the race that I'm doing actually coming up this weekend. So that race, that Luau 10K Hawaiian theme, was kind of a training run for that, for speed work and stuff like that. So the race that I have coming up this Sunday, June 7th, I am doing a half marathon on one of the islands in my area, on Bainbridge Island, which is going to be super cool. So you basically take the ferry there, get off the ferry, run all around the island. The race, I believe it's like 3/4 on the road, 1/4 trail, which will be interesting because all the races I've done have only been on road or gravel. I've never done any trail running, so that should be interesting, even though it's only 1/4 of the race. So yeah, it'll be cool to run all along the island and stuff like that. I just went there a couple months ago for a little trip, so that should be fun. I actually got recommended this race by my aunt, so shout out to her. She also runs as well. So I'm super excited to do this run, and seeing, you know, it is a very hilly course, so a PR is probably not possible for me, but that's okay. I'm really gonna just take in the scenery, enjoy it, trying to get as fast as I can. I have been doing some hill training, so that's good. So again, definitely leave in the comments down below your guys' opinion on out and back courses versus point to point, which one you prefer, and let me know what races you guys are doing this year. So I'm Coach Hannah, fitness trainer with a degree in kinesiology. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and as always, chase those fitness goals and those PRs.